The good news is that your cyber insurance renewal should be pretty steady this year. The bad news is there are some new and pressing risks that are making it more likely that you're going to be impacted as a small to medium sized business. So, in this video, I'm going to break it all down for you so you know what to expect in your renewal, but also how to protect your organization in the upcoming year. So, let's get into it. Like I mentioned in the opening, insurance renewals should be flat with maybe a slight decrease. And this is because there's been a steady implementation of cyber insurance hygiene. That's what the insurance industry calls it. But basically, businesses have implemented protocols that prevent cyber attacks. We have implemented multi-factor authentication and end-to-end encryption and some of these things that were not that were not readily implemented across businesses before. But now they're there, and it's because if you remember the gas pipeline that got hacked years ago, and then all of a sudden nobody could buy gas on the East Coast. I've never seen the insurance industry move so fast, but in 6 weeks, it went from being really easy to buy cyber insurance to almost impossible. And you had to have a whole list of things that people were doing before you could even buy a policy, and people just weren't doing them. But a lot of those things have been implemented now. Now, that said, there are some things that are changing and evolving in our society that are making it easier for you to be attacked. Artificial intelligence has led to a 200% increase in ransomware attacks. So here's how it works on the cyber threat actor side. You got these big businesses that target big businesses. They're the ones that go after Microsoft and cities and states and hospital systems, and they are really only looking to chase down whales. But there's a lot of smaller organizations that they're going to be perfectly happy to use AI to take this one idea and send it out a million times and see if they get a bite. And since AI has made it easier and easier and easier to send out more of those attacks. We're all experiencing it. We get flooded with these email attacks of, hey, I'm going to shut your power off, or hey, it's your boss. I need $200 in Apple gift cards, et cetera, et cetera. AI is helping these threat actors send out more of that. So we have to all be more aware of what's going on. So people work all the time, at least here in America, and they'll use their personal devices. So the insurance industry is calling this shadow IT. Look, it's a fancy word. It's people using their personal phone or personal computer to do work. And the issue with this is that people may not have the same security protocols set up on their personal devices that they have on their business devices. So 1/3 of all attacks actually happen with people using personal devices. Best way to control this is to have corporate policy that says, hey, pu- use business equipment for business purposes. Don't use your personal devices. And lastly, we are all seeing the increase in emails, but more and more people, these threat actors are trying to steal money from us and fool us into wiring money places. So I used the example of pretending to be your boss, but I heard a story about someone that used an AI deepfake of a boss in a video to go to a CFO and say, hey, I really need a lot of money wired here. CFO got fooled into sending out a whole lot of money that way. Also, there's what's called man in the middle attacks. And you can hear about this with architects and engineers and general contractors, where the architect is sending a lot of money to the general contractor every month. And then every once in a while, they'll get fooled into changing the bank account so that all of a sudden that money starts going to another entity over here instead of to the GC. That's called a man in the middle attack. You'll see it with people pretending to be your employees wanting to change bank account information. There's new and changing ways that threat actors are trying to fool us into opening up our system and also wiring money to the wrong place. So how do we take that information so that you win in your insurance renewals and also in protecting your business? One, make sure that you are implementing the key things. Keep your antivirus updated, multi-factor authentication, end-to-end encryption. Make sure you're backing up your data. These are key things. Hopefully, you're working with some type of managed IT service that can help you implement these basic protocols to protect your organization. But you also need to have protocols about wiring money. Who can wire it? How much can they wire? Does it need to be double checked? How are you verifying where the money should go? And also make sure you are training your staff about phishing attacks so that they know how to recognize which emails are from threat actors trying to get into your system, because your number one vulnerability is not your IT service, it is your employees. That's how people get into your system. So make sure your employees are well educated. But all that said, if you've had no claims, if you've got good protocols in place and you haven't shopped your cyber insurance in a while, this might be a good year to do it. There's competition out there. There's been more and more new companies entering the marketplace that also offer some nice services. Like they may offer some proactive examinations of your environment to help you know where you might need some help. Look, this your cyber insurance is probably not the only thing you're renewing. If you've got questions about liability, auto, work comp, umbrella, I've made videos on those too. Check them out. If you want to talk to me about your renewal, my contact information's in the description. It's also in the YouTube channel. But if this was helpful, please hit like and subscribe. It helps other people like you find the content. If you want to just drop a question in the comments, happy to answer them there. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and please go build something.